Hello, internet. It's been a long time. How you been? How the kids? It's time for popcorn chicken again. So grab a drink or some food. I don't know, and we're gonna talk about the Bad Batch. Here's Elvin and Nathan.
Why is your camera moving?
Because I wanted. Because I got a robotic slider in
Okay.
that I backed on Kickstarter like 5 years ago, and it finally came in. I want to use it, or I've been using it as a drum cam for shows that I film, and then I was having issues with it, so I was troubleshooting some stuff, and then I just left it on there, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll have movement."
It's definitely weird.
Well, I can slow it down so it's a little more subtle.
Yeah, I mean, you might make some people throw up.
Have it at 200% speed.
Oh, man.
200%.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There. Now it's only at 100%. Now it's subtle.
Okay.
Subtler.
How's
Yeah.
it going? Things are
Good.
Things are good with you guys?
I got to watch 2 episodes last night.
2?
Okay.
Did you not watch the one before? Oh yeah, you didn't. You weren't there
No.
last week.
No, he wasn't. No.
Oh.
I was predisposed. So I got 2 days of Star Wars, which was good because they kind of the 2
You're
episodes
lucky.
kind of blended
You were lucky because you got that back to back right away.
Yeah. Because they definitely blend into each other.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, they're connected. That's basically part 1 and 2.
yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that last week, what was your guys' in the episode?
Sorry,
As a whole.
What was our score?
What was our score for the last week? Yeah.
Or your opinion? Yeah.
I thought it was all right. It was above a filler. It had character development for sure for specific for Tech. I thought it was needed because he's very robotic, and we talked about it, Emmy and Nathan. It was nice to have him come out and be more of a human because Omega really needed him to do that because she's just, distraught. She's just basically very sad now that members of the team are disappearing, leaving. Right, everyone she's getting close to is moving on to other things, and him being a robot in the beginning was just like, hey, that's how it happens. This is reality. That things like this happen all the time.
People leave.
And for her, it was very hard to understand that. And she was just really kind of like, you could be a little bit nicer and be more human and let me down a little gently.
Yeah.
And she did. She did get a more human version of Tech at the end of that episode. So,
yeah.
I can't remember what we gave it. Do you remember, Nathan? What did we give it?
I think it was a 7 or 7.5. We both agreed on it.
Maybe
something
it was a
like
7.
around there.
Okay.
I think it was a 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It was not like it was there's been filler episodes in this season that have just, and then there's also been ones where literally nothing progresses or moves forward. The episode finishes and they go, oh, I guess we're back where we started. And it's like, cool. So you're just admitting that you wasted 45 minutes of my time? Mm-hmm. Awesome. But this one, definitely, there was some character development, and it was like, it was fun. They had some goal, and like, realistically, like, what's her name is just throwing them out on another quest. Like, hey, go to this planet, get some fucking gas or oil, mine for oil. Okay, come back. I'll give you money. So like, it wasn't a heavy episode, but it was a lot of like, especially with Omega dealing with the separation from Echo, and how they're, a squad and a team, and
you're just really butchering that accent.
Echo is pretty good. Yeah. But it was fun last week.
What do you give it?
What's your score? Yeah.
7.5.
Okay.
Like nothing. It wasn't like whoa, but I wasn't like what the hell. It was just like I don't regret watching that. No, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like how it ended. It ended so abruptly last week.
Yeah.
But I also didn't like how it started this week.
How did it start?
Oh, with the speeder?
Weird, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They found a bike and they're already trying to fix it. I'm like, what? When did this happen?
Yeah, it would have made more sense if they did another back-to-back episode, release the 2 episodes together, because that's what
Yeah.
these are. This episode and the last one are a pair. You can't watch one without the other.
It's
really.
weird how they just separated these two, but before that, they had a back-to-back episode that was a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic that you already did it. Why could you just do it again?
Well, especially
Like,
too,
hold on.
because like
Go ahead.
The Mandalorian's coming out next week. So like, why aren't they trying to get out all of these episodes? Like,
Exactly.
I guess they want people to be on their platform for longer, and this might, like, if people are already there watching The Mandalorian, like, someone might be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll watch the other Star Wars show that I don't watch.
I actually think that might be it, because if people are getting hyped about Star Wars, there's a surge of people that aren't like dedicated fans for it.
Mhm.
And they've just finished The Mandalorian, and Mandalorian episodes are not over an hour ever, or maybe
Yeah.
once or twice, but they're not very long usually.
Yeah.
And so they just watch it. They're on that Star Wars high, and Disney can promote whatever they want on Disney Plus. So they're like, hey, we've got the Bad Batch new episodes coming out, and they're like, oh, there's another Star Wars show that's coming out right, that has episodes releasing right now too. Maybe I'll watch that.
I'm curious if
That's-
they're gonna release them at the exact same time, or if they're gonna
Yeah.
like have Bad Batch out first and then Mandalorian, or
I think we looked into this last week, Alvin. Do you remember?
Yeah, there's nothing. It's still indicating that it's Wednesday.
Yep.
That's a bad idea, in my opinion. They already are scraping the bottom of the barrel for content. They've already delayed all the Star Wars stuff till next year.
yeah. Well, no, Ahsoka's still this
No,
year.
it's delayed.
What?
They're all still
Seriously?
been pushed.
What?
There's no time frame. There's no release date. Have they put a release date out yet?
Yeah.
Wikipedia could be
It's
wrong,
scheduled to
but-
release late 2023.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Oh, it's because it was pushed back. It was delayed
Yeah.
from May 9th of 2022, and so
Yeah,
they delayed it.
It's all
Yeah.
delayed till next year. That's what I'm saying.
It's 2023 right now.
We just don't know when.
Yeah, they said late. Ahsoka one release.
It was supposed to
date.
come out right after the Mandalorian.
So maybe delayed it later in the year.
Yeah, they're putting it
Apparently-
like September, November-ish.
Apparently, it's supposed to succeed where the Book of Boba Fett failed.
Oh,
Right.
man.
So
Which
let's
apparently
see
that's
if they-
getting greenlit.
That's
for
not a
second
really
season.
high bar to succeed from.
No.
Do you know what? I do want a second season though, because I want them to redeem the show.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm on board with that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're all fans of Boba Fett, I assume.
Yeah, we
Uh,
don't have to like the first season, but we don't have to hate the character.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
we all want it to succeed. And Justin, you've got a helmet there, don't you?
Yeah, I got the little bobblehead guy, and
I thought you got whoa, hold on. I thought you guys hated Funko Pops.
I only have one Funko Pop.
this was a Christmas present.
Okay.
I only have one Funko Pop.
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Blue.
a bobblehead I'll fuck with.
I've got a bunch, like I don't collect them anymore, but I've got a bunch of Star Wars Funko Pops.
Do you keep them in the box?
No, I took them out.
Good.
'Cause
I think the box is tacky.
I'm not a fan of the box, especially because I think they look good without it, and they're a bobblehead technically. They're supposed to move the head around, not just
exactly.
be stationary. Otherwise, they look like a big-headed figure, tiny, non-moving figure.
Yeah.
But who do I have? I know I always say this. Star Wars for me is like the underworld nitty-gritty stuff. I say that nearly any time we talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I collected based off of that. So I've got, like, what are they called? The Gamorrean guards, like the egg guys. I've got some bounty hunters. I got people that you would see around Jabba's palace, during Return of the Jedi, that sort of thing. And the only person that breaks from that mold is Poe Dameron, because I thought he was a cool character in
He was cool.
Yeah, in The Force Awakens. And then after that, I think that they kind of didn't do his character justice. But we don't need to go into that right now.
And we need to get into this show.
Yeah.
So they.
And then he had that beautiful line.
Yes, somehow.
Somehow Palpatine returns.
All right, so they've got the speeder.
Yep.
They find it and they're fixing it.
Actually, this is kind of stupid. Maybe I forgot this, but when they fixed the speeder, and then Omega was, the genius of the group, decided, hey, we still got the Gonk droid on board. We can just, hook up. How do they get there? Oh, okay. Sorry, Justin.
I forgot. I took notes last night.
You took notes?
Yeah, because I was kind of drunk after the podcast, so I took notes.
Okay.
Hold on, where is it?
About the Bad Batch episode?
Notes. Okay, so I wrote the opening music and the score for most of this episode sounds like the fucking Last of Us.
What?
The guitars are like borderline ripped off of The Last of Us. It's the same chord progressions, the same minor key acoustic guitar with like some delay and reverb on it. It sounds exactly like The Last of Us. And then also I was watching it with the subtitles on, like I normally do. And one of the descriptions for the Gonk droid, it said "gonky honking" as like a descriptive what he's doing, and I was like, "Gonky honking" sounds like a racial slur for A. But yeah, so Omega remembers, oh wait, we had Gonky on the ship, so then they can track him. And then that's how they zero in on where their ship is. So there's some kids. Did they steal his speeder? Is that maybe what happened?
No. The speeder was all destroyed. No. The speeder was destroyed, wasn't it? And the speeder was by the little town village thing, but the kid parked his.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Do we even see the kid with anything?
What's up, Darth?
Maybe.
Well, because let's be honest, his name is Benny.
Benny. I don't think Benny would ditch his speeder and risk, coming back without it. I think he'd get in trouble for that. He didn't even get.
It's like the red paperclip. You trade up.
Yeah, but he didn't even appreciate. Mako didn't even appreciate the ship. He's like, oh, I have
the Marauder.
Yeah.
There's clearly some favoritism there.
Yeah. But also, do you guys know how they arrived at Mako's base? Did they take the speeder? The speeder
they all jumped on the speeder.
Yeah.
Did they show that?
Yeah, they showed that. They all jumped on the speeder and they're chugging along. It has backfires all the way to the town.
Yeah.
See, I can't even remember that because that just seems so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous because I don't think a speeder could carry 4 people.
Let alone Wrecker.
Yeah. Wrecker alone is already over the limit.
Yeah.
They weren't gliding. They were basically jumping off the sand dunes. Right?
Yeah.
They're just landing and jumping. They're hopping along.
Yeah. They're just using him as a spoiler.
Yeah. So we found out that this is just an ordinary kid. The minute I heard the voice, you know what it reminded me of? Ezra.
A little bit,
I thought that too. Yeah.
And then when he takes the helmet off, I'm like, is that Ezra's brother? Maybe. I mean, like it could be a long lost brother. I don't know.
His tattoos reminded me of Jax from Mass Effect. Just black bars.
You guys had better thoughts than me.
What did you think?
Oh, not another stupid
Who's
kid
this fucking
to the
kid?
show. Because when you add too many kids to a Star Wars show,
it's always bad.
Omega's enough for me already.
Yeah, because you have one kid, but then put them in a dark situation, where they have to deal with loss and tragedy, all these things, and that's what makes it interesting. But as soon as you add too many kids, it's all like kid power. We can do this. We got the Force.
You know what's
no,
really
you're
annoying?
A child. They have guns.
You know what's annoying? You know what's annoying with Omega for me right now is how she is unfazed by anything, pretty much, aside from losing somebody in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like every mission she goes in, she's like an expert. She already knows what to do. And
well,
I'm just like,
again,
how are you so battle ready
Again, they are all the same age, and they all essentially have the same training.
The age has nothing to do with the experience, though.
I think it's more to do with the fact that she has been trained a little bit by them, and she's also got the confidence of like, these guys, this is my family. They're the best of the best, and they're right here. They got my back, and that's why later on we see in the end she just jumps off and just reaches out her hand, like she's. I
thought that was cool.
I'll be saved. I thought that was pretty cool too. As like she's got the confidence because of her team, not because of herself.
It was good,
but she's getting better herself.
The comparable that I have for her is like having 3 Navy SEAL operators going into a mission, and Kevin Hart is behind them.
Yeah,
that's what my comparables are right now. If you brought it into real life situations, 3 battle-ready Navy SEAL operators going into Kabul, and you have Kevin Hart behind them with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, you pretty
much. That's
what
it reminds me of right now.
What's that movie with
guys?
Hey!
Right Along?
No. The Indestructibles or whatever. It's got like every action hero star, and they made like 12 of them, and they're all garbage. The first one was really good. It's got like Statham in it. It's got
Expendables.
Expendables, yeah. It's like the Expendables, but Kevin Hart is tagging along.
Yeah, that's what it is basically.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. it's just funny. It's just funny to see how she knows every corner, every angle, what to do, and everything. And
wait. It's the A team. I keep forgetting that we already made that connection, that this is just space A team, but now they have the daughter from Married with Kids or something. I don't know.
I don't know where. Okay. Anyways,
I'm just trying to think of other 70s, 80s sitcoms that you could have someone.
So basically, they get to the town, and this whole situation with Moko is Moko, right?
Mako.
Mako, Moko, whatever it is. These are some weird names, but I feel like what it reminded me of the Benny and all the other kids. It reminded me of Never Neverland, where it's Captain Hook and the Lost Boys, right?
Do you want to hear a horrible conspiracy theory about Peter Pan?
Sure.
Oh, I think I've heard this one.
Peter Pan is actually the bad guy, and Captain Hook is trying to rescue all the kids that he keeps kidnapping from parents. And Captain Hook is trying to rescue the children to bring them back to society. But Peter Pan is just like this crazed, insane person who thinks he's a child and is like has multiple personality disorder or something, and is kidnapping children from their homes and brainwashing them all.
But didn't Captain Hook make them walk the plank? And there's an alligator.
He kept trying to kill Peter Pan and capture him.
Do you remember, Justin? Do you remember what the theory says about why there's only kids?
Why?
With him is that anytime they get too old, he kills them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's why he's only ever
very
surrounded by
dark
kids.
People.
It's pretty dark.
Anyways, so Benny brought the Marauder to as a ration or as a gift to Moko or Muku.
It's a thieves guild.
Yeah, and basically to get food and water. Man, this guy's bad. This guy's hardcore.
Yeah, Oliver Twist, exactly.
Yeah,
this guy's hardcore too. He's like, "You want water? Okay." He's like, "Gulp, gulp, gulp, gulp," and he's like, "Here you go. Here's a couple of drops for you."
Yeah, you can smell the
damn,
bottle.
This guy's hardcore right there.
And then Betty's like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Yeah.
Please, sir, want some more?
Yeah. I thought this was really very on the nose of what's happening in a lot of places right now, especially in certain parts of Africa, where kids are being used as pawns and slaves. And I thought this it hit me in that way because I was just like, this is happening right now in reality.
Cobalt mines.
Yeah, like mines. This is exactly it's a mine, right? To be honest with you, it's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a Iptham.
Yeah, we've had kids in cobalt mines and diamond mines, basically working as slaves for pennies a day, and this is what it was like And so, to me, this episode was more of a reality, a look on life, I guess.
Again, they're hitting hard topics. Like we're getting veteran PTSD, veteran rights issues, dictatorships, genocide, and now child slavery.
Yeah,
all in the kids show.
All in the kids show.
It's
in
pretty,
the same scene?
It's pretty aggressive. What are you guys' thoughts on this whole Benny and this whole relationship?
I keep thinking of Benny and the Jets too.
Benny.
How that's not a very Star Warsy name, is it? Benny?
No.
Are you
Well,
kidding
neither
me?
is Gonky. What's Gonky?
There's been most of the protagonists in this fucking series has been called Ben.
Ben's different from Benny though. Benny's like Ben is like even the fake name that was given Toby. That's not like that was his made up fake name.
I like how Nathan's just getting all flustered. Don't call him Ben.
and also I know what I have to do, but I don't know how I'm gonna. Or sorry.
Yeah, that's what I always.
If I have the strength to do it.
I always wonder why Obi-Wan Kenobi was called Ben.
Because it's an Obi-Wan, Oben. It's just like a telephone game translation.
No one will guess it if I just.
His name's Obi-Wan. Ben. What? The old Ben one? Yeah. Oh, Ben. Yeah, sure.
What? I don't even understand that.
You know the telephone game where you
don't.
say something and then you whisper it into somebody else's ear and then they whisper it into the next person's ear and so on and so on and so forth. And you start with like, macaroni and cheese. And the last person says like, I'm Japanese, because like it just gets disintegrated when you tell other people or whatever.
So that's your theory why he's called Ben.
Or in Huttese, maybe that's what it translates to or something. I don't know.
Okay.
In Huttese, they only have like white people names or something. It's everyone's Steve or Jeff or John or Ben.
So the team, obviously, because they are an elite force, they track them down to the place, the mining place. They find a what do I want to call this? The mining shaft or pollution tower.
Yeah, the exhaust port.
Yeah. Okay. The heating, whatever it is called.
Another Star Wars ism.
Yeah, and so they basically time it that it goes off every 60 seconds.
What was that movie with Sean Connery where he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I've timed it perfectly and I can jump through it." And then
The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. That's what this.
Yeah, that was a great movie, by the way.
Yep,
I love that.
It was
movie.
garbage. It's like so amazingly bad that it's good. Like it's just a shitty like 80s action movie. It's so good.
It's a adrenaline turn off your brain action movie.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
This was not, however, adrenaline action.
Well, you get some like Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff. You get more Indiana Jones references here and there, and you get a little mini heist.
Yeah,
I did like the rappelling down of the of them doing that. I like Hunter, how he rappelled down. I thought it was pretty cool. And then he's basically like, "Oh crap, there's a droid here, and time's ticking."
Yeah.
And okay, I'm just gonna jump him.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
How does he take him now? Does he cut him with the knife?
No, he kicks him and then he jumps through the door and then it gets roasted.
Oh, and then he tosses him into the shaft, right? When it blows up.
No. He just pushes him onto the railing or onto the walkway, and then he jumps through the door to safety or whatever.
Yeah. Because it basically takes blows the chute again.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool, that part. They find Benny.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how they find Benny. He tries to run away, and Wrecker's just like boink, clotheslines him. Like, where are you going, buddy?
And then Omega with her that bow's grown on me. The thing's pretty cool.
But why
the sound that it made?
Why is Omega taking charge? It should be Hunter.
Well, because Tech was there also with his gun, and she's like, "I'm helping."
I think it was a situation of like, we're just gonna all have any escape route he really has.
All the exits.
The whole team works on it, and
because
I actually like that. Yeah, well, I like that. They are great, very very skilled. They're experienced. Most of them are, and so they're like, as soon as he sees us, he's gonna try and run. So let's cover the exits. As soon as he zips around, Wrecker, I love that scene too, Alvin. That was great. Just seeing him go. That was a hard hit to the ground,
It
too.
was.
It wasn't just like a cartoon, like he gets caught and he's like, oof, and then he falls. It's just a boom.
Like, that motherfucker's got a concussion now.
But then, Omega coming in, I think that made sense. She was being the safest out of all of them, technically. Because, the first two guys didn't really know if he's going to run or fight or what. But they're there. Then it was Wrecker who just knocked him down. And while he's on the ground, Omega comes up with her bow. And basically, that's the safest position for anyone. So I think that was kind of a
Tech was right behind her, too, with his pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a neat little scene.
So Benny takes him to the place where the Marauder is. And, it's been parts have been being pulled. One of them being the hyperdrive. Because Moko. By the way, Moko looks like an armadillo.
Yeah, actually, what was he? Trandoshan again?
I don't know what race that is.
Such an ugly Trandoshan.
Well, I mean, they're lizard people. They're not the most cute thing ever.
Maybe pull him up on the screen.
I looked up Star Wars Mako, and it came up. Like Mako from the Old Republic.
Yeah, the best wife to ever have.
But yeah, he looks like an armadillo race or something.
Oh yeah, he does. Moko.
Oh, Mokko.
Species.
Was that some sort of scientific name for armadillo? That'd be pretty cool, actually.
He has cybernetics,
Latin name.
But...
Yeah, he's got a cybernetic arm, and
he has was it Echo? Echo's arm?
Yeah, he's got Echo's arm pretty much. He was a male slaver who operated on a planet.
That's all I have too.
Yeah. So
I think we've seen his species once before. I think it looks kind of familiar.
It does. I like how we know he's got head implants, back implants, but we don't know what fucking planet he's from.
So after this has happened, they need to get the hyperdrive stuff, and they also need to take the shield on. So they have to split up in pairs, right? Tech and Omega basically work together to get some sort of data transferred back onto the ship. And then we have the ray shield is down. So
no. They Benny and her go to the tower.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Benny,
and so he gives her a disguise, so he gives her a shirt, and then they go to like the mess hall because she can just blend in because she is also a child, and then you kind of get to see the dynamic of how all the kids...
cafeteria scene, right?
Yeah, and you get to see kind of the horrible work environment that they are in and how mistreated they are, and they're like, all right, cool, this week's earner gets soup. And then he just necks the whole bowl that right there after, and like God knows what he jacked to get the soup. But Benny, who brought an entire like Imperial ship, gets shafted.
Yeah, I mean, what did he really bring? Darth Vader's ship?
I mean, maybe, or maybe because he's the older one and he's got cooler hair.
He brought style to this group.
Yeah,
he brought the Millennium Falcon. That's what he did.
That's probably not worth too much. I hear.
Yeah, he's not going to get shit for
that. Sorry. Yeah. So Tech basically is on the ship with the three of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then these two sneak out, or not sneak out. They go into the whole situation, and when they come back, Omega's basically saying to Hunter, like, these guys are basically slaves here. They're being treated like crap. And you see that scene where Moko is just pigging out, like he's at the old corral buffet and just going to town, right? He's putting a feed bag and going to work on all the chicken and turkey and everything. Reminds me of me on Thanksgiving Day. And then he basically gives them a scrap of goo and says, fight over this.
Yeah.
Right? Which
Here's
I thought...
the broth that I cooked all of this in.
Yeah.
Here's some
There
hot
it
dog
is.
water. Go have fun.
Oh God! Oh,
Yeah.
gross. That's so gross. Don't do that. I can't. Hot dog like in water after it's cooked. It's the weirdest thing for me.
Sure. It's
No, I
disgusting.
agree.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting and weird for me. I hate vendors. You know those hot dog vendors that they keep the hot dog warm in the water before they grill it on there. I can't do that. I'm like, no. You need to have it in a. I don't mind keeping it warm, but not in water, please. I don't want that water soaking back into the hot dog.
Yeah.
What's the
Right.
problem with just keeping it in the fridge or like a
Right?
cooler?
Well, it's already cured meat. You could just
Yeah.
I don't
Eat
know.
it
I think
raw.
what it is it just cooks it faster. Having it in hot water.
sure.
Yeah, but it's gross.
Yeah.
Well, how did
You
we
know what
get-
I want?
This is
Soggy
supposed to be
meat.
the after hour talking. Or after we're
Right.
done.
Sorry.
Let's
That's
finish
when we
this.
talk
Let's
about
finish
soggy
this
meat.
Well, it's
properly.
related.
Let's finish this off strong here.
Yeah.
So what happens next? We have
Well, they
Hunter
go to the
basically-
communications tower,
Yeah.
and then she's got the data pad, and she's transferring the. It's some clearance code so that they can
undo
shut down the ray
shields.
shields. Yeah.
Yeah, shield remotely, right? To
Yeah,
access
and
the
then-
shield remotely.
And then Benny hits a switch, and you're like, "Oh, okay, so he's still an asshole." And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
Well, do you know the scene right before they entered? He goes like, Moko or whatever, right? My boss. He'll, one day I'll become the top earner. You just wait. As soon as he says you, I'm
Yeah.
like, he's gonna screw you over. If he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
says like one day I will be, then it's
Mhm.
like okay, maybe when she's
He's
gone.
got
but
drive,
You,
yeah.
As soon as he's like, you who are trying to escape right now, you
Yeah.
will see.
You'll see, because you're gonna be here for the next fucking 20 years.
I'm like, okay, that's it. If I have handcuffs, I'm putting them on you. If I don't, I'm gunning you down.
Yeah.
I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
So Tech and Wrecker are working together to fix the hyperdrive. That's the
Yep.
pair I got confused with. Okay.
Yeah.
They're fixing the hyperdrive. Did you guys? I thought the double cross, not the double cross, the actual of crossing Omega, Benny doing that to Omega was really. I didn't see that coming. Like I thought it was pretty cool. that
Yeah.
they
Well,
added that element in there.
yeah. I mean, when it happened, and it was cool that he hit the signal, and you're like, "Oh fuck!" And then she's like, they're not bonding, but they're not like at each other's throats. And then she starts to understand him and sympathize for him, and goes, "Yeah, sorry. Well, here, you can have my rations." And he's just like, "Fuck, thanks." And he starts eating it, just like the most guilty eating of a
Yeah.
protein bar ever. And then everyone shows up, and then he's just like, "Okay." And he's like, "Oh, thanks for bringing me this. You'll probably be a top earner this week."
Mm-hmm. So you know what? I actually didn't think of it like that. But that you're right. That is true. He did feel guilty. In my mind, I was thinking he's so shocked that she's just giving him food because he's used to having to like break his back trying to earn
Yeah.
just the
That's a good
tiniest
theory
amount
too.
of food.
That's a pretty
But
good
like,
theory.
no, I like what you guys say. That like that's true. That guilt of shit. I just betrayed. I can't unpress that button. I can't say anything. I'm just gonna wait until my boss shows up, and then
Everything's fine. How are you?
yeah, that awkward moment,
Yeah.
that guiltiness. You're right. That's true. That's there too.
So the final scene is basically, or the final part of the episode is, these guys are all rallying to free these kids,
Mhm.
and it means that they have to go up against Moko and his
Well,
droids.
so
right?
actually, before the guards come and capture Omega, Benny asks her like, "Hey, did you find the launch codes or the shield ray thing?" She's like, "No, I can't find that yet, but I found all his expense reports."
Oh yeah,
And that
yeah.
kind of hints that she's like, "Yeah, you were talking about
Oh,
how
yeah,
the
yeah.
Ipsum is like selling for super low. He's just like, he's making fucking bank." And then they're like, "What?" And so then it was that like the guilt of, oh shit, these people are good people, and I probably have never met good people or experienced compassion. And now I have this person who has a family, and I took away their home,
Yeah.
and I took away all of this for selfish things. And I was like, oh, this will get me out of the hole. And I mean, Star Wars always does this, where it's like someone who's down on their luck, and they're like, "Oh, it's just one more job, and I can get out of here, and I can leave." And then the Empire or some oppressor is just like, "Fuck you, you're staying right where you are, or I'm gonna make it worse." And it's a reoccurring theme, and we see it again here. And so there's that guilt and that compassion that he gets shown, and then also she's like, actually, the guy that you respect and look up to and rely on is a crook and is screwing everyone over here. And then he's in denial. He's like, no. And then they capture them. Then they go to the hangar and capture the Bad Batch. And then, they get onto the Raiders of the Lost Ark-esque rope bridge.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. Then they rally them all up, and we see Omega on like the top rungs with the droid, and they're gonna make her. And speaking of Peter Pan, they're gonna make her walk the plank, pretty much. And they're using her as baits so that they surrender.
Wrecker still has his fear of heights as well, which is doubled down again. I thought this episode, I don't know, it's a borderline filler for me too.
It did have that
it didn't really move the needle.
I mean, it had some. It wasn't. This is gonna sound bad. It wasn't as bad as the other fillers. Like, there's still some progression and still some like character development, but as far as their place in the galaxy, or like, it didn't really do anything. No, like, they're not better off. Like, they've got some what's that? It's like kerosene. No,
kerosene Ipsum. They don't have any.
Yeah,
Ipsum
what?
right now.
It's that liquid that you see in cowboy movies where they're like, if you touch it, it'll explode.
Yeah.
Nitro? Is that it?
No. Anyway.
My concern is there's a couple of things that we have forgotten, or they have made us forget. And I was just thinking about it, is what happened to Vice Admiral's arrest? Nothing's been talked about that. Nothing's been, brought in. And that was like 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Right. I think that would have been more important to talk about than this 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, do you remember Wrecker had an issue, right? He had some issues. Do you remember that in season 1? He had some issues with his, like, remember he was having actual system issues.
Like his inhibitor chip or whatever?
Yeah, he had some issues. Remember, he was having some issues, and then it just disappeared.
I thought they took the inhibitor chip out, and that's what stopped it.
I don't know. There's still like something update on. Something had to be done with it. It wasn't. I could be wrong, but I just remember thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, yeah, what happened to that? Like nothing was talked about. I just don't know, like, why we're focusing on, like, the writers of the show have really focused on doing Sid's missions every week, kind of thing, right? Like, go to this race or go to this planet. Like, is it all that we're going to just have Sid's missions every time?
Bless you.
Thank you.
We should have more than that. It should be more involved in the galactical scope of things. Like, there should be more of those kind of stories brought out, but we just keep getting missions. And every time I see or hear Sid's mission, I'm automatically starting to think it's fillers.
Well, and also too, like, when they contact her and she's like, they're like, oh, we got our ship stolen, but we have a shitload of this stuff that's super valuable. She's like, go fuck yourself. It's like, why are you still working for this bitch? Like,
sure, that's true. Like, she never came to pick him up or anything.
But here's the thing, though. If we know that this Isium, is it Isium?
Ipsum,
whatever it is, Epsom salt, whatever,
nitrate.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
If we already know this stuff is valuable, she knows it's valuable because she bought a mine.
Yeah,
and they're like, we got some of it, and she still doesn't want to pick them up. Like, what?
Yeah, that's true.
If you two went and did mining for me and you had a bag of diamonds, worth probably like $2-3 million or more, and you lost your ship, am I not going to go and say, yeah, I'm going to come and get you because that's $2-3 million in that bag?
Yeah.
It doesn't make
and
any
also
sense.
because you like us.
Well, that too, right? But you're
Did
flying
they
coach.
have it at the end of the episode, or did they destroy it when blowing up the entrance to the cavern?
Yes, but then they found a new cavern with even more of it.
Yeah, but remember the cavern
Oh,
with even
no!
more of it.
That's
Didn't
what
they
I'm
blow
saying.
that?
We have no idea.
Well, no, there was the dust storm that they went
Yes.
into another. They got stuck in another cavern, and then Omega was like went through a hole, and then she was like, "Oh," and then she starts.
Yeah, but
mining a bunch
remember,
of shit.
then they went down the waterfall, and at the bottom of the waterfall, they found a little source of light, but they had to use the Ipsum to blow that up. I'm,
right,
like,
but they
blocking
probably
my
just
own
used a
light
little
source.
bit of it.
I
Also,
hope so.
that episode made me realize a new phobia. And this is not something that we see in live action really done ever. I can only think of one movie that has done something similar, but it's difficult to do in live action because you have to deal with practical lighting. But in animation, you can fake it. A running water in a cave when it's pitch dark is one of the most terrifying fucking things I've ever seen in my life. When they fell into the water and you could not see anything and it was just a cave and running water and they didn't, like, I was like, I would just drown myself right there. Just like, no, fuck it. Done. Like, fuck that. It's like claustrophobic and also the fear of like deep water that you can't see the bottom of, and also a fucking nope. Just nope.
I have a similar claustrophobic thing with caves. Is we know how I've seen some movies where it's a narrow hole and you have to crawl through it.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. I swear to God, if that was ever happened to me, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and die. I'm not.
What
going
was
through
that
this.
movie with was it Ashton Kutcher or the first 48 hours or something, or 36 hours? Not Ashton Kutcher, but it was the movie about that guy who like went bouldering and then he got stuck and then he had to fucking cut off his own arm with like a Swiss Army knife
Oh,
to get
I think it was James Franco.
James Franco, whatever.
Yeah.
The pretty white boy who was popular in the 90s or whatever.
Sure, whoever it was, yeah.
Yeah, one of those guys. Yeah. 36 hours, I think it was called. Anyway, yeah, like getting stuck in a cave. But it was and also too, I noticed through these two episodes, and I think I've said this every episode. Yeah. Is that you?
Yeah, that's
you're
me.
fucking
I've done that
insane
before
person.
in the little cave.
Yeah.
I
No,
did that in
thank
the
you.
mall.
No, thank you.
And it's filled with bats too. So there's this like massive cavern.
Bats are cool.
that you're in. Yeah, the bats are cool, but there's this massive area filled with
that
bats.
shit,
Huge.
that shit isn't cool.
Yeah. But then
Wano.
as you climb up the exit, it's like this weird thing where it's like a little platform and then it's straight up and you have to climb some rocks to get up, and the little platform is straight up, and then that last hole it looks like it's just flat and you're crawling through, but actually it's like near vertical, and only at the very top does it get like this. So you get to the top and you have to be holding onto the side so you don't fall back down and fall off this little cliff in the cave.
Yeah.
There's my little add-on today for my little story.
All of my nope. But yeah, this episode looked amazing. Like I'm still blown away by the animation and the art style, and
By this, do you mean this one or the one before?
both.
Oh.
There's a lot of scenes where they're just like overlooking something, and there's like five seconds of just like a scenic look, and I'm just like, fuck, that looks so cool.
Yep, they do that a lot.
Yeah,
It's
and I
pretty
never
nice.
got that from the Clone Wars. Like there was some cool designs, but I was never like it's almost every episode they'll have a couple shots and I'm just like, whoa, cool.
Especially at the start, like the first couple seconds, usually.
Yeah.
I think nearly every single episode, if not every episode, they give you a couple seconds just overlooking the landscape, and it looks gorgeous. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I think I
That's
mentioned
also-
this to Elvin before. I can't
Yeah.
tell if it's real or not.
Yeah.
At the first glance.
You know what's frustrating with the Bad Batch for me is how we get to go to these planets, but we don't get to actually explore everything in the planet. It's just a quick drop in, drop out.
Yeah.
Right. And it's frustrating because I would love
This
to
one
have
they don't
it
even
more...
name the planet. They just go,
yeah.
you go to
Yeah,
a
it's
mine
like
planet.
here, you're at this place, blah blah blah. Okay, we're out of here. I would
thought-
like to see like a more of a Stargate approach where you're actually exploring the culture and the villages and all that stuff. I'd love to see more of this expanded Star Wars universe.
Well, even Tales of the Jedi did that, and they did mini episodes where they're just like, here's 15 minutes, and they still went through the lore of the planet you're on.
You can
and
do it. You can do it in
the
an
political
episode.
structure of like, here's this village, and their senator doesn't do shit for them. They're mad, and there's a civil war, and you're like, fuck, cool. And they got dogs. Cool. This place is awesome. Or like where you're going through Ahsoka's village, like they barely spend any time there, but you still got like a full walkthrough of their culture.
Like I would have loved to see them be more like I don't mind some of these episodes, but I would love to see the Bad Batch group go in there and be more liberators than mercenaries finding loot and jewelry or Epsom salt, whatever it is. This is like I want to see I want to see them be more liberators, go into the hostile territories and free people.
Well, especially now that
heroes.
the empire is in full force. Yeah,
that would actually be pretty cool to see that transition of they start off as mercenaries just trying to survive, and then they see the impact of the empire, and progressively throughout the season they become more of these helpers,
and people can reward them with food and technology to help them, continue doing this, right?
Well, also too, like in the first season, it made sense. Like they were the mercenaries, they're the Black Ops guys, whatever. But then Order 66 happens and they rebel. So why doesn't this whole season have them turning in from this Black Ops, special operatives for the Empire or for the Republic, then turning into this rebel squad? And then you see another area where the rebellion started from, and it started from Clone Force 99, and then they came to then train these guys, and then they built this group, and then you get like a potential for a live action thing in Andor season 2, where then you get Tamia Morrison and he's old and he's blah 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 and he's Hunter, and you're like, holy fuck, like that's an amazing tie-in.
I don't know why the approach is.
I mean, we're like halfway through? No, we have
not yet.
We're at episode 10.
We are. Yeah, we are.
We're
over halfway. You're right. We have 6 more episodes.
So, 6 episodes. That's a fucking season for most shows.
Go ask all the Disney Marvel shows. But no, it's still like
we have 6 episodes. They could go into that.
Yeah, but these are like half an hour or less. Some of them, right?
Some of them,
even though that's still enough time. If you do it right, you still do it properly and give enough content in half an hour.
Honestly, like, yes, there's been a lot of filler. But also, too, this show was supposed to be a filler thing until The Mandalorian. But then it got delayed. So now there's an overlap. So now they're like, okay, all these superfluous episodes. Like, I think that's why they're starting to do, like, here's 2 episodes. Because they're just like, some of these, like, we literally don't care about and don't fucking do anything. We were just filling time until The Mandalorian comes out so people don't cancel their
But that's
Disney
a
Plus
problem, though, right? Is that not a problem?
Absolutely. But now that we are looking forward to The Mandalorian, we're not caring about the show even more because we're like, well, the good thing comes out. And so now we're like,
sad. It's so sad because we should be caring about these guys too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's still 6 episodes. They could have just had a bunch of filler and then they start doing, because they've been introducing a lot of the, clone veteran issues. They've been diving in a lot of like deep political stuff with the rebellion and the growth of the empire and how the Senate is dissolving. We got Jimmy Smits. Has Mon Mothma showed up? No. Mon Mothma has not showed up yet. So we're seeing like some shit from the Senate. So, I mean, it could potentially start like maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back. We got what's their boss's name again? The girl from Cheers.
The girl from Cheers?
Yeah. The person who's like paying them to go do jobs. Bad Batch. Sid.
Yeah, okay.
Now that they cried out for help and were stuck and she told them to go fuck themselves, maybe now, and also now they're seeing like, oh shit, there's these slave groups that are getting brainwashed and Sid's fucking useless. So, okay, well, maybe let's push back a bit because our person that is supposed to be protecting us doesn't give a fuck about us and will probably sell us to the highest bidder or whatever. Mm-hmm. So fuck it. Let's start pushing back. Let's start fighting. Rampart's probably going to have a vendetta against them. And he's actually like he's not going to get executed. They're just going to push him to another planet and say, okay, fuck it, just disappear for a bit so nobody talks about you or thinks about you. So he's probably going to come back and be like, have it out for them. So hopefully in the next 6 episodes, we now see like, all right, we've been prepping all of this stuff and setting all these little things in motion, and also too building the camaraderie and the family aspect of the Bad Batch, because before they were just this ragtag group of misfits that were thrown together and in happenstance. But now they have conflict. They've been through shit. They've hated each other. They've loved each other. There's been progression there. I mean, it's again still an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot of a kid show, so it's not going to go super heavy into it. And even though it has heavy subjects, it's still just like sprinkled them in and hasn't focused solely on them. So maybe in the next, next episode, I hope Rampart shows up and there's some big kerfuffle.
I highly doubt it, in my opinion. I think this is going to stay the way it is
because we don't have a antagonist. We don't have a villain.
Next episode is going to be Sid showing up at the planet. Like, where is everyone?
Yeah, where's my boys at?
What do you guys give this episode out of 10?
7.5.
Okay, Nathan.
Okay, this is going to be a little lower than I normally would for this type of episode, but I'm going to give it probably a 6.5 if I'm being generous to 7, but I'm thinking 6.5. And that's just because this episode is connected to the last episode. It's clear there's a connection, but they released them separately, which, okay, whatever. But at the same time, even though it's a continuation of the story from the previous episode, it just feels so different. The first one was all about, character development, and even though it was just kind of a generic story, we got to see Omega grieve kind of in her own way and getting upset at Tech because he's not feeling the same way about the group that she does. And I thought that was quite interesting. It was good. And then for this one, it's the retrieval of the ship in like an Oliver Twist situation. And I was hoping it would be more interesting, to be honest. I kind of just I guessed that he was going to betray them because as soon as he said, I guessed that he's going to betray him as soon as he was leading them, leading Omega through the quarters. I was worried that they were going to let him come along because he was a young kid in a bad situation. I was glad they didn't, but I don't know. I just felt
join
like
our family.
If they had made him come along, I would have been done with the show.
I was like, okay,
yeah, I'm done.
Moving on to
you guys
something
should carry it on because I'm not here to watch babysitting of the Bad Batch, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to justify it too much, the 6.5, but that's how I feel the episode kind of fell into.
Also, we didn't mention how Moko fell to his death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was amusing.
Yeah. But we touched on it in the beginning, but the bit where there were a bunch of hints where I thought that there was going to be a Jedi arc that started because Omega saw this glowing blue thing and I was like, is that going to be a kyber crystal? Is she going to find a kyber crystal that's going to call to her? And then I was like, oh no, it's just more of the gas stuff that they wanted to mine. And then she started playing with this rock in her hand when they were bored, just sitting there. And I was like, is she going to actually float it for a second? Is there going to be a whoa shit moment? But then that didn't happen. And then when she's up on the tightrope, whatever, with the robot, and then she kind of jumps off, and I was gonna be like, oh shit, she's gonna kind of float or something. And then that didn't happen. So I can't imagine that those were unintentional because they've heavily hinted that she's force sensitive multiple times. And so I feel like they are kind of throwing in these little gotchas or these little red herrings of just oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm going to give this episode a 5.5.
Wow.
It's not moving the needle for me, man. Like the last episode, I kind of liked it because they're on a mission. You know, they're having some issues. They're working as a team to get out of it. Their ship is stolen, um, and so it was a little bit of interest there. But this didn't move the needle at all. I didn't feel like I felt empathetic towards Benny and his little Lost Boy crew, but it was just not enough. Like the bad guy was so weak. Like he lost to children.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ringleader of this business here with tons of guards supposedly, which barely showed up in the fight.
Well, they were all trade or techno union droids.
Yeah, like
that were
you think with all the money and resources that he has, he'd beef up his security, right? So
well, Voldemort lost to children too. So
that's true.
A lot of bad guys lose to children.
But this guy didn't have a wand. That guy
also
did.
too. What's gonna happen? Like there's just a power vacuum now, and now the tough guy is just gonna take over, and the same.
No, it's gonna be Fight Club, but boys. Yeah, Fight Club with boys. And
also, I had one more note. During the fight with Tech and Omega, there was a line that made me laugh, because my head filled in the response when she was yelling at him and being like, "Oh, why aren't you sad that Echo left?" And he's like, "I am sad." And then she's like, "Well, then why don't you act like it?" And my brain just immediately responded, "Because I'm autistic and I don't know how to show emotion. And that's part of my programming." And I was like,
"Well, I mean, it is a borderline of that characteristic for him, right?" And I think maybe the writers have put in that type of characteristic to make him differentiate quite a bit.
Tech is definitely on the spectrum. Absolutely.
Yeah. 5.5.
I think I'm only ranking it fairly high because I watched them back to back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They blended, and honestly, when I got home, I had to be like, shit, what was the first episode? Because like in my brain, they were the same thing. It was just like an hour-long episode kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, hoping the next 6 episodes are more interesting. There can't be any fillers going to the next 6 here.
No.
You've given us enough where it's annoyed us. No more, please. You got to hit it out of the park for the next 6 episodes.
Yeah, you've had one bad filler, one really bad filler, and then 2 like, they were fine.
Yeah.
I think we need an antagonist, as you guys said earlier. We need someone to really like understand.
It has to be
this whole struggle that they're going through.
At this point, it has to be Sid.
And I'll be a little disappointed if
it's Sid, right?
It does, but
she's just
Sid's not really a big bad guy. She's just like a scummy,
mercenary.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Who else are you gonna conjure up?
She's gonna sell them out to Rampart. Rampart's gonna come back and he's gonna pay Sid, and she's gonna be like, "Fuck it, you gave me this much money. All right, I don't give a shit."
That would be more interesting than this episode.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anybody else you could just slap together last minute and say, "Okay, this is your villain for season 2."
Yeah, we can't get anyone new. If we get a new villain,
it's
this late.
Yeah,
because then you're gonna have to spend an episode and a half or 2 episodes introducing them and setting the plot for them, and then you're like, all right, well, now I got 4 episodes left. You get 1 episode of filler, 1 episode of intrigue, and then 2 episodes of the out. And then then the last episode is, well, at least we have the friends that we made along the way, or whatever the fuck.
I've got a weird question for you guys then.
Oh.
If someone was to ask if you would recommend for them to watch the whole season, would you say yes or no? And I'm not saying pick through the episodes. I'm just saying like whole season 2, is it worth the watch?
Are you talking about a Star Wars fan or someone in general?
Let's say someone that's very familiar with Star Wars. They've watched the Clone Wars. They've watched.
Did they watch the first season of The Bad Batch?
Let's say they've never seen The Bad Batch.
Okay.
Well, they have to see season 1 then.
I'm not going to recommend this series, period.
Well, I can't recommend season 2 unless they've seen season 1.
No, but like watching season 2, I'm not going to be like, oh, you got to go back and watch the first season first. I'm just going to
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no. I would tell them, pack up your stuff and then move on. Like I would like, no, don't invest your time in season 2.
Yeah, like I'm only watching it because the Clone Wars was so good, and this is a little bit of an offshoot. And if and two, the only people that they've had cameos were in the other shitty Star Wars movie or shows. So it's like, oh, you want to see someone from Boba Fett? Okay, well, also don't watch Boba Fett. Then you get to see a Cad Bane. No, he was also in Boba Fett. Yeah. Fennec, I guess you see in The Mandalorian for an episode, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, all it does is reference the worst show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing we're also lacking in this show is crossovers of things from.
We got Jimmy Smits. We got Bail Organa.
Okay, I'll give you Bail Organa,
and we've got a couple, like,
and obviously
it has been cameo light.
Darth
Vader.
Yes.
Yes, give you that, but that came halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Right. It was needed, I think, to really jump it again because it was halfway through the season. I think people were starting to fall off this thing, and they needed this old jolt to stay on the boat or come back on it. I don't know if it's got legs for season 3. I haven't heard anything about season 3.
No, neither have I. Honestly,
I think you should pack it up at season 2. Call it a night.
I kind of want to rewatch the first season because I don't remember it also blowing my mind. Like I remember being like, it's fun.
I bailed out of it near the end and then came back later and watched the rest.
Same. Yeah. I was like, oh, wait till it's all out and then binge it.
I binged the last 4 episodes together. Yeah. I bailed out on episode 12 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And the first season, like it had some fun bits. It had some cool things. And like I know the characters and they're interesting, but like yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's fine.
Nathan, do you think it has the legs for season 3?
Oh gosh. Okay, it really depends on the next 6 episodes for me. I think that earlier you said, they can't have any more filler. I think you're right. But I think they will do because 6 episodes with no filler episodes is so difficult for them. That's so much to do.
Yeah,
we haven't even had.
There's so much they have to do. Like if you want to get a deal for season 3, and if you want the fans to watch season 3, you need to give them more than what you're giving them so far. Right? This is not must see Star Wars right now. No. None of this is like, oh, I'm so excited for Wednesdays to go see this show. You could. It's the opposite of what people are saying right now for Mandalorian. Mandalorian hasn't even come out yet, and guess what? They're already working on season 4.
Well, yeah, but that's because they have a proven track record.
That's what I'm trying to say here is nothing they've done so far have given fans this, oh my God, I can't wait for season 3. Oh my God, I cannot wait to watch this week's episode. There is no, it's like, oh, it's on. I'll watch it because I got nothing else to watch for Star Wars right now. Right? It's sort of like, it is basically a giant filler for the big Star Wars movies, show like Mandalorian.
Honestly, The Bad Batch has kind of had all of the points that I didn't like about the Clone Wars. Like a lot of like how they portrayed the battle droids as like comedic value and just had them have like funny quips to make kids laugh is most of the lines from The Bad Batch. Where they're like, well, most of the lines from like Wrecker, where he's just like, here's something that a 5-year-old's gonna say and laugh. And they've had a few good combat moments this season, but it's just a lot of it not talking about episode 3 because that is an amazing episode onto its own and also a standalone episode completely, but a lot of it is just like there's no substance to it.
Yeah.
Wait, out of 10 episodes so far, have we only had 3 like really good deep episodes, or we?
Well, number 3, episode 3 was it?
Yeah, so that's one of them, and then there's the 2 back-to-back episodes.
Yeah, those
that they put up.
I like the second one of that back-to-back more.
Yep.
which
But
was
they worked really good together, and they both had a lot of substance. Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
any other deep
The
ones?
first two episodes were them trying to get that loot. Remember?
Yeah, but that's not really like a
It wasn't
deep...
good. No, I'm not saying
that's
it
the
was good.
introduction. It wasn't
the
a horrible
introduction,
episode.
though-
It was just like the intro.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys miss that bright, vibrant beach scene they had in the beginning, where the crabs were chasing them in the very first episode?
do I miss them?
Do you miss the vibrant colors that they showed?
No.
Because ever since then, we got
It's all
dull,
been
boring,
dark and dreary.
dark and dry and boring. It's like, can I see some rainforest where there? Can you imagine Hunter with this paint in a forest?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That'd be so sick. We had that with the Wookiee. We had that forest thing,
Yeah.
right? That was pretty
Oh yeah,
cool.
that's true. We did have that episode.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool. I like that episode, but it wasn't great. But
Mhm.
I would love to see more of that, where they're, setting up traps and fighting, rebels.
And that was to your point. Like that episode was them being the like infiltrating and helping people. And,
Yeah.
And what
we
did
need
you
more
call
of
it?
that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get Epsom salt, so I don't know. Maybe they're gonna go and rescue make some what are those salt rock lamps? That's what Sid needs them.
Rock salt. Yeah.
That's what Sid needs them
They
to
don't
make some
work,
lamps.
and they taste disgusting.
I would never even try.
Well, I haven't had them in the lamp form. That I've tried the salt just as a salt before, and it's so sulfuric. It's gross.
It's got potassium in it. That's where the pink comes from. Well, then everyone on TikTok goes, "Oh, it's super deadly. It's radioactive," and it's like, no, it's potassium.
They say that?
Yeah.
Crazy
People on TikTok, they're sounding the alarm saying that the pink Himalayan salt is deadly because it's radioactive, and it's like, it's not. It has an isotope because it has potassium in it. Bananas are more deadly for you.
I find that hilarious because you think it was going to go through customs if it's radioactive. Like they have radioactive testers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's people are funny.
Don't let that man on the plane. He's got salt.
Yeah, people are hilarious. After hours talk now, folks.
I guess we've already started with the salt.
Yeah, grab a drink. I want to talk about Mandalorian. It's gonna be juicy.
I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I think right now we're in the best point in time for the Mandalorian.
I want to know from you: are you going to be available for every week Mandalorian?
What? It's going to be Wednesdays, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be the same as now. I know it's going to be the same as now. It depends on if I have work or not.
You need to tell your work. Sorry, I got Mandalorian talk. Give me an earlier shift. Give me an earlier shift. That's all you can ask.
It's a pub. It's all closing.
Tell
the drunks to show up early.
Who drinks at Wednesday nights?
Yeah, Wet Wednesday.
Justin.
Wet Wednesday.
That's the day. Actually, who drinks at Wednesday nights? Justin, what are you drinking right now?
Hey, who the fuck does that?
But I'll quickly go off on this one little thing I was thinking about the Mandalorian before I forget. I think we're in the best point in the Mandalorian right now. Season 1 and 2 have finished, and they were season 1. It was fantastic. Season 2, usually after the first season, second season's usually pretty good. It's found its footing. It continues. It's done that. Season 3. Now we don't know what it's going to be like right now. No. If it comes out and it's not very good, that makes this moment right now in time the best possible, because we've just experienced all that great Mando. All the great Mando episodes already, and we don't know how disappointing season 3 is going to be. We think it might be good. That's why this is the best point right now, because we think the season 3 might be good.
They need to bring back Cara Dune. They need to bring her
back.
Is there any indication of her coming back?
No.
They
need to apologize to Gina and get on with it.
Yeah, she was a good character.
On Twitter.
People have said worse.
Oh gosh,
for God's sake, Ezra Miller is still the Flash.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, let's move on here.
And he should have kidnapped people too.
Didn't have to beat the shit out of people in their own fucking hotel room, and they're like, "Yeah, it's fine.
We can't get rid of him.
He's
He's the
getting
main
help for that.
character.
You're the fast guy."
Yeah, he's getting help for that.
Yeah.
So, no, they need to bring her back. I think she was a vital. She had
From
a
what I
really good
remember,
role.
she had a bunch of anti-vax rhetoric stuff.
I'm
Who
just
didn't?
looking-
Who didn't? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, especially now, like everyone is kind of like, "No, I'm good." Now that Pfizer is like coming out being like, actually, well, anyway.
Okay, wait. I'm looking up what she posted right now. I think it has something to do with the Holocaust.
Oh, right, that was it.
I've heard
she
from both sides.
equated she equated what the vaccine mandates are to people who went through the Holocaust.
Yes, yeah. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children, because history is edited. Most people. I'm not saying this for the record. This is her tweet I'm reading.
Yeah. Let's make
because
that
history
clear.
is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews.
The Nazi
she's
government
saying,
fucking did that.
she's just saying like,
But
I
couldn't
guess.
Disney just say to her, "Hey, you're misinformed. Here's information, and let's move on."
Yeah, but also Disney is run by a known anti-Semite, so they want to get the fuck away from that as far as possible. Walt Disney was a huge bigot. So I think
he founded it. Doesn't run it anymore. He's dead.
Well, yeah,
Frozen in
but
Disneyland.
yeah, but that's kind of a sore spot for Disney. Just
Yeah.
like how anyone in Germany calls it what was it, the vacation to France or whatever now or something, or like you can't talk about World War II. So they're kind of just like anything that references that really shitty thing that
Yeah.
our
We took a road
predecessors
trip to
were involved
Poland.
with. We're just that's what do they call it on Top Gear?
Well, I think they just say a road trip or something like that.
Yeah, Hitler's road trip to
Yeah.
Poland or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they reference it as.
Sat
on
nav
Top
that can
Gear.
only go to Poland.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it was that, but also it was just like I don't miss her character, and the show that was being talked about, what was it, that could have been cool, but like whatever, like she's not been on it, and when she was off, like it wasn't like, oh, there's a huge void. It was just like, she's a side character who's pretty cool, and I think she played her parts and then moved on. So like I don't really give a shit.
Well, Mandalorian, I know there's going to be two sides that are going to be pulling him. One is what's her name? The
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, and the other one is going to be the armorer.
Yeah.
That's her name. The armor.
Yeah, they're going to be pulling him on both directions, because one is saying if you want to be a Mandalorian again, you got to go through this quest, and the other one's saying, hey, you don't need to do that quest. We don't believe in that nonsense. You can take your helmet off all you want. Where there's different, Mandalorian creeds. All that
come
stuff.
on, Daddy Pascal, show those locks.
Yeah, but we know who he's going to side with. It's going to be the armor, 100%, because Bo-Katan is a threat to him now because he's technically the leader of the Mandalorians, and she wants that. So she's going to fight him for the Darksaber at some point, and hopefully it's going to be a really cool fight.
Well, and also too, the armorer may or may not still have allegiances to Darth Maul.
No,
because
that's true.
That clan all had the spikes, the Kelt, no, not the Keldorian, the
was it called the Crimson Dawn? No,
Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, it was Crimson
Which
Dawn.
Bo-Katan? Kira from
Rebels?
Solo.
Oh,
yes, she was part of it. Well, remember, Bo-Katan was part of it for a while, but she left it.
She left it and then became the Night Angels,
Night
Owls, because Darth Maul is fucking Darth Maul, and she's like, no. And then he's like, all right, execute them all. And then that's when they fucked off to the moon.
Sounds like such a weird thing to say.
So
there's so many clips.
March 1st, they're going to drop. You think one episode? Or do you think they're going to drop 2?
Ooh.
I think it's going to be
Hmm.
one, but I think it's going to be a slightly longer episode than the rest of the season.
They gotta give us something good, right? The first
Yeah.
week.
They do.
Do they
And
It
I
might
though?
not be a 30-minute in and out. That'd be
That's
No,
why I
no.
think it's going to be slightly. I think it's going to be at least 40
One-
minutes, maybe
one
a little
hour?
longer.
1
I
hour.
hope
I
it would
would
be an
love-
hour.
Of 1 hour. Just to
That would be
sit
nice.
and just
Bask
Be-
in the glory of
bask in this shit again. Hell yeah.
I'm going to bring up all my Star Wars mugs. Get myself all ready to watch it.
Have they made a
I'm gonna wear my-
Mandalorian a bucket yet?
Bucket,
Bucket?
like a helmet.
The helmet. They call it.
Yeah.
A bucket?
Yeah.
Like from
It's like one of the most detailed ones too. The
okay.
insides have lights.
Oh,
And there's
wow.
like leather padding and shit. Here, I'll show you. Black Series Mandalorian helmets. Yeah, it's and it's got an attachable flashlight on the side.
Oh wow.
And a lot of people they compare it like that's the internals.
That does look pretty cool.
I wonder how
Why
much is going on
isn't-
the resale market.
Yeah. Wait. How much does it cost?
Hold on. Why isn't no show the fucking show the screen? Why doesn't it show other tabs? Anyway. No, you're just not gonna can't show Amazon. That's the internals, and it's got LEDs
That's pretty cool.
and like leather padding. So yeah, it's like a detailed internals.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And it also has a flashlight attachment.
I might pick this up.
Yeah, 250.
249. And do they still have them? They do.
Yeah.
I might pick this up because I have
That looks
Vader
really
on the
nice.
way.
Oh,
Vader should
nice.
Vader should be coming in the next couple of months. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get this.
Yeah.
That looks.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm definitely getting because I have the Stormtrooper and I got the new repainted Boba Fett.
Which stormtrooper do you have? Sorry.
Here, you stand there, Dio. I have. It's connected to.
Oh, is it on your camera? I'm sorry.
No, it's on my.
Oh, it's up there. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's on my. Actually, I'm gonna do. At some point in the next month or so, I'm gonna do a live stream on here, where I build the full Stormtrooper armor. Because it's been sitting in a box since right before the pandemic.
I'm wondering if we should do a. I'm wondering if we do. I'm down if you guys are down just for the first episode, right after it ends.
Yeah.
Like it premieres. I know, Nathan, you got to get up in the morning.
What do you
so
mean, like
midnight?
like midnight? I could probably do it till 1, but that's the latest I could go.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, the
Sure.
episode would be done by then, wouldn't it?
What's
Yeah.
up? Like Tuesday at midnight or something?
No, it'll be a Wednesday at midnight.
It would be Wednesday,
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
Tuesday,
you're right.
Tuesday.
It'll
at
be a
midnight.
Wednesday morning.
Tuesday midnight,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Wednesday, morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was being dumb. I thought I was like, oh yeah, I could watch it, and then I could talk about it from 12 till 1 a.m. I was like, oh no, wait, that's the time it'll take to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe it'll be.
Well,
too
why
late
don't you
for
just do a react? We can do a react to it. Oh no, wait, we can't do that, can we?
We could.
We just couldn't film it.
Well, you can't have audio as well, right?
Yeah, we would just have to watch it with
Yeah.
headphones.
Well, that's kind of what we all do already.
No, I sit down on the couch.
No, I mean
with
like
it.
right now we're watching. We're doing the live stream with headphones.
Yeah,
or
that's true.
earphones.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think it's going to be. Do you think it'll be the early prediction? Is it going to be better than season 2?
I'm going to be negative here. I don't think so.
Ooh, Okay.
I think that what they've done already is going to be very hard to top. And I don't think that they'll be able to exceed it. I think that the first episode will be good. I don't think it'll be fantastic, like crazy good. I think it'll just be good. And then throughout the season, we'll have some pretty rough patches. That's my prediction. The whole season will be good, not great, and with some rough patches. Maybe
I
one or
think
two good moments.
Justin, what say you?
I think the opposite. I think it's going to be balls to the wall the entire season.
That's
because
exactly what I'm thinking, man.
we've seen so many clips of like Mandalorians dropping and like civil
Jetpacks.
wars and jetpacks and huge
Chest
fight
pounding.
scenes. Yeah, and like
let's get at it, man.
different Mandalorian factions fighting now, and like just infighting within the Mandalorians, which we've never.
Bo-Katan being pissed and looking at her, sitting on her throne.
Yeah, and
I
we
hope it's that good.
Let's get at it,
Yeah.
baby. What
I'm
about
always
the
worried.
baby itself? Grogu throwing an animal
Grogu?
out of a cave.
he's fucking shit up with his mind powers.
He's got that walnut marble baby stroller now. You know, like
Yeah, he's got the
That's
Rolls
true.
Royce of the strollers
yeah,
going
it's
on
basically
now.
Royal Royce a baby stroller, right?
Yep.
Leather interior, everything, right? Cup
Yeah.
holder. Like he is ready to rock.
Because
How long
he is a
gonna stay like that?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, is he?
I think
Yeah, the armor
what's it
said
called?
you are a clan of two.
Yeah.
He
No,
is
but,
Mandalorian. He's a foundling.
but yeah, he's a foundling. That's it. Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he's a Mandalorian then.
I also heard that he might have some dialogue eventually.
Oh god, I hope not. I like
Not
the
this
mystery
se-
behind
not
his
this
character.
Season, not this
It is-
season.
It is, yeah. The a problem with Star Wars is over explaining or over showing things. But as long and two, we can assume that he's not going to talk like Yoda because we've already had Yaddle with tons of dialogue and she doesn't talk
Mhm.
Yeah,
backwards.
Yoda's just got a speech impediment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just
Well,
fucking
it's-
stoned all the time.
This is
There's-
backwards.
there's-
talk.
There's this
Well, that's Scooby
That's
Doo.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
there's this comedian who's got this bit who says like,
I
oh,
hope all
all you
comedians have their bits.
who thank you. He's got this bit about like, oh, you know, everyone says like, oh, Harry Potter, it's written so well. It's like, no, they just wrote Star Wars with shitty lightsabers. What is this? Oh, an orphaned young man who's raised by his aunt and uncle, and he doesn't know what happened to his parents. And then this old wise wizard comes up to him and tells him about this magic, but his uncle's really against it. And then he meets this girl who, even though he'll only love her like a sister, she toils with the infatuation with his scruffy comedic friend.
Wait, who are you talking about for the romantic interest for Harry here?
Emma
Hermione.
Watson.
Hermione's not interested in Harry at all.
No, that's the point. She only loves him like a brother, but she's interested in his comedic scruffy friend.
Yeah, but they don't have. Oh,
Wrong.
no, wait, I'll take that back. Never
Then they
mind.
get
Okay,
fucking
yeah.
married. And then
Yeah.
he also goes and gets trained.
By the way, speaking of Harry Potter, I played the game a little bit more today. I
yeah?
actually spent another hour playing today. I gotta tell you, that's a fun game.
It
Yeah.
is. What do you think
I'm
of the
real-
combat?
I'm still in the class stages of stuff right now, learning stuff in the class.
Yeah.
You will
What-
be for the whole game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never stop learning.
But it's fun. I enjoy
I mean, I
it.
guess you're a student. That's the kind of
Yeah.
whole premise.
The one that this is both a complaint and a strength for it is that in the Hogwarts Legacy, you can get mid game or like late mid game, and you're still unlocking new things to do in the world. And I'm not just talking finding new locations. I'm saying
yeah.
there's these series of little mini games throughout the
Yeah.
whole world. Guess what? You know, you can do them now, even though you may have seen them around the world, didn't know what they were for. Now
It's
you
like a
can do it.
Metroidvania kind of thing.
I don't know.
Like,
Have you
like
finished the game?
You find a door
No, not yet.
halfway
I'm
through the
trying to take
game,
it
and you're
slow.
like, I can't open this, and then you get a new rocket launcher, and you go, I can go open that door on
Kind
planet
of.
whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. Although it's not so much like finding different places to go. Although there are some cases like that. Like Elvin, I don't think you've gotten to the stage yet, but when you learn the charm to unlock doors, Aloha Mora,
No, I haven't.
it
No, I
takes a
haven't.
while to get to it. And so up until that point, I'm going around the world in Hogwarts and seeing all these locked doors, can't do anything about them. But then I learned the spell and I can unlock the doors. Then I learned, oh wait, that there's more doors, and I need to learn the spell level 2.
Mordor.
And then when I learned spell
The
level
elves
2,
are there too.
Actually, there are elves. There's the house elves, the
Sorry.
little slaves.
Yeah, there.
And then it turns out after I learned spell level 2, there's spell level 3. And there's just so much progression and ability. Like I am about 20 something hours in, 25-ish hours in right now.
Okay.
And that's not even much compared to a lot of people. But I'm 25 hours in and I haven't unlocked all the spells yet. I've intentionally avoided all the dark art spells. I'm trying not to learn how to kill anyone. The only one I'm going to learn is Imperio, which I think is okay because you're controlling like a bad guy to fight for you. You're not torturing them or just killing them.
It's funny.
Sure,
I got
mind control slavery. It's fine when it's a bad guy.
Yep.
It's funny. I got it for 2 systems. I got it for the Steam Deck and I got it for the PS5.
Oh, the Steam Deck. Have you played it on that?
So I haven't. I'm gonna do dark magic on the Steam Deck one. My character is gonna be an evil, crazy bitch, right? And she's gonna wreck fucking hell everywhere. So that's what I want to do. That from the Steam Deck. With the other one, I have a person of basically a younger version of me, right? Not too much young because I'm still young in my youth.
Damn right.
So a version of me in high school, basically. And he's going to be all goody two-shoe and Mr. Nice Guy. So I want to see how different these two characters are going to be.
So wait, your bad character is what's her name? Helena Bombcart or whatever?
No, I'm going to think of a name. Like I was thinking my wife's name, but she might not like that.
I'm going to make
the evil one.
Fucking murders everyone my wife's name.
She's the mother of dragons, but I'm gonna see how the differences are, and it'll be 2 separate, characters, right?
Are you gonna do different houses and everything, or the
yeah. I'm gonna see how it is. This game has a lot of replay.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah,
and apparently, if you pick, there's one mission in particular that if you have a different house, every single house does it differently. So, I won't. I'll be careful. I won't say how it goes. But I know I won't. But I know for 2 houses in particular, because I play Gryffindor, so I know that one. And I know the Hufflepuff one.
What's the one with the snake logo?
Slytherin. Do you know the Slytherin one?
Of course, it's called Slytherin.
Slytherin,
Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Gryffindor.
So I'll make her in that group.
Slytherin, yeah, they produce the most dark wizards. But funny enough,
call her Evil Lynn from He-Man.
Evelyn? Oh yeah, that's pretty good actually. But one thing I thought that was pretty cool, someone decided to make a Hufflepuff character, like pure Hufflepuff, and they're really good with like plants and animals. So they decided to make I'm gonna do combat entirely with plants.
Whoa!
No spells.
Poison ivy.
Yeah, just pure plants, poison ivy. And it's the most overpowered thing I saw. They took down so many bosses in seconds, or if not quicker.
I love the beginnings of MMOs for that exact reason. I love speccing a class that is not supposed to be good, but in the beginning of the Old Republic, I was I want to do I didn't touch the lightsaber wielding classes for a long time because I was I at that point and still kind of to now I don't fucking care about lightsabers in Star Wars. I know the Jedi are the Catholic Church and the Sith are Satanists.
Speaking of Jedi, if I can, sorry to interrupt. I did see Jedis in the Mandalorian trailer.
I thought you were gonna say in Harry Potter.
No, that'd be pretty crazy.
Well, that was a flashback again to Order 66 and Grogu's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's good. I'd like to learn more about it.
Absolutely, and we get to see. Well, and also there's a lot of speculation about we might see Anakin or Darth Vader in it because they're there's a lightsaber cutting that door.
It was blue. Yeah, it was blue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the backstories and shed more light. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The
But
fact that this season 4 is underway too is pretty cool.
Yeah,
They're
like,
so confident in it already.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, as it should be.
And you know, fair enough, because I want to see the season 4 sooner.
Where do you want it to end? Season 5? Because there's no drop off point at some point, right?
Yeah,
I think the natural way to conclude it is at a high when the story is at a point that you can end it and you're not dragging it on. I can't tell what season that's going to be.
I think
until we get to
5,
that point.
like obviously I wanted to last forever because I love it, but I think you need to end it at season 5.
I think season 4, because then
okay.
Well, I think the plan and what makes sense is it blends into the Ahsoka TV show, and then it just kind of takes over.
It's like the Avengers thing. Everybody assembles, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Boba Fett comes, Fennec
similar.
Shand comes,
Yeah,
Ezra's
like it kind of the Mandalorian arc ends. Like anime does this all the time, where it's just like, oh, it's the same thing, but we called it something different because the main character for this series, like, they're done or they retire or whatever. And now we care about this person who is a side character and just like a background person, but now like they're the face of it. So I think the natural progression of that kind of story arc makes sense, because then it's like, this is the Mandalorian. We've seen him start from nothing. His entire organization, his entire religion was blown to smithereens by the Empire. And then we see the rise of the Empire and the different like segregates of what's left of it. And then we see, these old characters kind of come into the fray and help him out or deter him or whatever, or create conflict. And then we see Ahsoka come in and we're like, oh fuck, it's Ahsoka. It's like one of the coolest Jedi ever. Also too, Ahsoka was a fucking annoying little twit in the beginning. Like when in
Omega
Wars,
level,
she was Omega level, absolutely. Yeah. Which gives me hope, because now that like and it was written this way. Who's writing the Bad Batch?
I don't know.
No,
Jon Favreau has a hand in it, does he not?
Absolutely.
As the executive producer,
Jennifer Corbett.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, this feels like he produces it, but this doesn't feel like his hand is directly
developed by Dave Filoni.
Developed by the character. And,
he's basically overseeing everything Star Wars now, right?
Yeah.
He's a Lucas. Christ. Him and Jon Favreau are the Lucas of Star Wars. They're overseeing everything, and then above them are everybody's favorite. What's her name?
Dave Filoni. Kathleen Kennedy,
who oversees the entire Star Wars company itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I think they're going to push it to 5 because it's such a big selling point for them.
Yeah,
people subscribe to this service just because of that show.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and this was the proof of concept of live action Star Wars TV shows. Like the first season came out and everyone was like, okay, shit, this is good. And they're like, we're going to do Boba Fett. And they teased it in the end of The Mandalorian. Then we're like, oh, fuck, cool. We're going to get Boba Fett. And then that was shit. And we are like, okay. And they're like, we're doing Obi-Wan. And we're like, oh, cool. And we're like, well, that was shit. And then they're like, here's more Mandalorian. And we're like, oh, thank Christ. Okay, good. This is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, but yeah, like to my point, Ahsoka was annoying as fuck. We didn't like her. And then there was huge character steps, huge leaps and bounds. And now she's like one of the coolest fucking people in the universe. And now she's getting her own show and is played by the amazing Rosario Dawson and is a perfect casting and representation of that. So I think maybe The Mandalorian. Oh, and we get Thrawn in. It's going to be
glorious.
Oh, I'm excited.
Was there anything else we want to add before we wrap it up for today?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to, in the next month or so, going to do a stream building the Stormtrooper armor, because the reason why I bought it was at a buddy of mine's birthday right before the pandemic. And he does a lot of social media and stuff with TransLink. which is the SkyTrain like transit system around Vancouver. And for May the 4th, he has a Wookiee costume. So if you look on their Twitter and their Instagram around May the 4th, he rides the SkyTrains in a Wookiee costume or whatever.
That's hilarious.
And we were just getting drunk, and he's like, "Oh, we got to find a guy who's got a stormtrooper armor, and we got to like have them like walking Chewie around in handcuffs." And I was like, "Fuck it." And I just went on to Etsy or eBay or whatever, and it's like we're at the bar, and I'm just like, boom, there, done. And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I just ordered stormtrooper armor." And he was like, "Fuck off." And I was like, "No, it'll be here in 2 weeks." And then the pandemic happened, and it sat in a box. And then he texted me like a week ago, and he's like, "Hey man, Translink's down to do this Star Wars thing again for May the 4th.
Gotta
is
get some
your stormtrooper
pictures,
armor
man.
built?" Oh yeah, no, we're like bringing a photographer. Like we're going through
awesome.
SkyTrain control. We're riding along.
You're gonna
all
hand
the
out some
SkyTrains.
A&R stickers and popcorn.
Yeah, I'll get a bunch of stickers and shit. Yeah.
Hand it out.
You guys
So
have
I
to have
need
like
to build
Chewie
it.
there, just like sitting down, and then as soon as like you guys get to a stop along the SkyTrain or along the at one of the SkyTrain stations, the doors open, just stormtroopers swarm in, arrest him. Maybe Darth Vader walks in quickly.
Should I?
No, you don't have all those
Oh,
costumes.
I should walk in there with a cloak, right? Just walk in there with the cloak.
No, you
Oh, it's
got
dead.
to.
Damn it.
Can I see your ticket, sir? You're not looking for these tickets.
Move along.
Move along for these tickets. Anything else before we wrap it up, gentlemen? It's been a slice. So I just want to do a quick recap for anybody that's new. Welcome. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And follow us on our social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at A&R Universe. And we've got not just this show, but we've got other shows that we do live. We do Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, the A&R Weekly, where we talk all things pop culture and collectibles. Wednesdays, like today, at 9:45 p.m. Pacific time, we talk about the latest show. It might not be the best, but we're talking about it. We stick to our schedule.
It's fine.
Willow was an example of a show that we stuck through it where everybody else bailed, but that's the dedication that we put into it.
Yeah.
9:45 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesdays. And then on Sundays, right now, special time, we're doing The Last of Us at 9:05 p.m. where we do a weekly episodic breakdown of the
Best show on TV.
highly rated from all of us. One of the best shows on TV by HBO.
Oh yeah, Nathan, what do you think of last week's episode?
Of The
Last
Last
of
of
Us.
Us?
He hasn't caught
I
up
haven't
yet,
been
right?
able to watch it. Yeah, I'm not caught up with you guys yet.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
you're gonna check out the section and then you're gonna be able to watch it probably, right?
Are you on
Yep.
this Sunday or no?
This Sunday, actually, do you know what? This Sunday, I think I can be. Yeah.
Make sure you catch up, okay? Make sure you catch up.
Yep, it'll take a bit of watching, but
Okay.
that's a sacrifice
worth
I'm
it.
willing to make.
It's a banger episode after episode, man. It's
Yep.
so good. So good. It's one of the easiest shows to rate because we nitpick just to get the number down, but it's still high.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I think this episode was the first episode that we had anything critical to say. And
Yeah.
even then it was the smallest critique. It was just like, could he use a little more exposition on this part, which was a tiny thing that literally had really nothing to do with the story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was still just beautiful.
All right. I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody who watches this. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure to like because that's how the algorithm works. So go ahead, support, smash that like button for us. Say bye, Justin and Nathan.
Bye, Justin and Nathan.
Hi, Justin and Nathan. Hey, that's my thing.